Hello brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Vegematic. Well, this is Vegematic under the radar technically. And everybody loves a parade, and I guess, you know, especially if you blow $30 million on displaying your manhood in front of the world. There are many people that are planning to disrupt the parade. I guess show up in Washington en masse. Gee, be bigger than the parade itself. Great little website, Stop Trump's Military Parade. Just looked at it. It's pretty interesting. And they're talking about the glorification of war and how since World War II the US has killed 20 million people in 37 nations. 20 million people in 37 nations. Both the Democrats and Republicans in Congress have voted to give more money to the vast, unparalleled war machine that is eating your nation alive. I guess I have to say that I'm Canadian, so I'm officially a foreign agent, so I'm out to get Americans poutine for everybody, and a decent place to live. And I mean, we're all part of the same human family, and we need a few basic things, but because of war and because of greed and corporatocracy, we are left with nothing for the people. So they're fine with spending untold billions, I think it's $1 trillion a year on the military, and over 800 bases around the world. I don't think America is exactly defenseless these days, but you know, we've got to keep those military contractors going, and that's a huge job creation program. But I think job solving some of your nation's problems, such as decrepit schools, poverty, lack of health care, people living in their cars, those should have more priority. Veterans Day, they don't give a shit about the veterans. Why would they have this big military parade and call it Veterans Day? There is a move to restore the name to Armistice Day, which celebrated the end of World War I. So Veterans Day, I think that a lot of homeless veterans, a lot of crippled veterans, a lot of veterans that are fed up are going to show up in the anti-parade. So I think the anti-parade is growing and growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And my only question is, how much brutality will be used against protesters? Because we know what these people are all about. We know what they have planned, and it ain't good. And we had, of course, Mr. Trump going around saying that, hey, it's good that the Chinese premier can be premier for life, and maybe we ought to try that someday. Don't worry, he is going to try that someday. And I will say, I told you so right from the beginning. This guy is not going to leave willingly. He will have to be carted off in a rubber suit, tied and rolled on a gurney out of that place, screaming and kicking and saying, "But I want to make America great again." So this is interesting. Herr Trump has signed a resolution to permit dumping mining waste into waterways. Allow that, take any restrictions off that, pollute the shit out of it. What the hell? It's only the earth, it's only the planet. If somebody was trying to destroy a nation, a culture, a way of life, freedom, if somebody actually was setting out to do that, they couldn't do any worse than the Orange Clown. The Orange Clown is the world's worst nightmare. An idiot, dotard, who has no clue about anything except his own vulgar appetites. His grasping for the ultimate power. People like that are megalomaniacs. He's not going to stop. He wants more. President isn't enough. President for life might be better. Massive military operations against whoever crosses them. This is going to get really, really ugly. And speaking of military contractors, Boeing Corporation, they paid 0.8% on 17.5 billion, 0.8% taxes. Wouldn't you like to do that? And they paid that amount of tax while screwing 68,000 workers out of their pensions. So, make America great again. Boeing, hats off to you. And of course, you have the bank deregulation, just in case something on the off chance could go wrong and the banks might lose some money. Instead, they'll grab it out of your hide and it's okay. And the worst of it is that 17 damn Democrats voted for this shit. So I'm hoping that Americans are really paying attention to this garbage and do what they can. I know you're living in a repressive society. I'm in Canada. It's a little bit better, not a whole lot, but at least we have a little bit more sanity at the moment. Hey guys, guess what? I got 3 subscribers after my last video. 3 new subscribers. So this is just so exciting to me. I haven't had a new subscriber in months. So I'd like to thank Cobalt Please and Jeffrey Pearson and Ultra High Carb Life for subscribing to me. You will not regret subscribing to me. Well, you might, but then it's easy enough to unsubscribe, so I don't think you'll... I will make an attempt to make this entertaining and interesting to the best of my ability, which, granted, isn't always top-notch. I am working towards getting the big 1,000 subs, just because I've been on this tube thing for 6 years or so and have less subs than anybody, so I would like to give it a real shot to get to 1,000. And I need your help in that I want to put together a prize package. And I was thinking, what am I going to do for 1,000 subscribers? What kind of prize could I put together? And I thought, well, perhaps all of us could add to the prize pack and donate something. It could be an old comb or a package of chewing gum, you know, whatever you feel would be not much of a sacrifice to you, but something of intrinsic value, or something that touches your heart, or something that you've made yourself. So anybody interested in doing this, you know, contact me down in the comment section, and we'll see what we can come up with as a prize package. If YouTube ever allows me to get to 1,000 subs, I think I'm going to pop a champagne cork and celebrate, and I don't know, and then probably say, so what? But anyway, it's something for me to strive for, right? So share this. Thank you, all the good folks that do share this. I'm delighted sometimes to go over on G+ and see somebody else has put up the Vegematic show, and somebody loves me. So keep it up. To hell with the Googleocracy. We're going to defeat the Googleocracy eventually, because eventually it's just going to consume itself like the rest of capitalism. It gets so large that it becomes unwieldy, and it's going to consume itself. Capitalism eats itself in the end. So the Googleocracy one day will eat itself. I just wish they'd hurry up. Well, maybe it's just because I don't like being controlled. I like using cash for purchases. And it's really interesting because I just finished renovating my bathroom. God, what a nightmare, don't ask, but it's done. And I would buy something like a sink, so I'd go into the local home repo center and buy a sink and pull out like a couple of $100 in cash. First they look at you like, what's that? And then they go, okay. And these young kids, I guess they're never used cash, they're not used to cash. They can't count out change. I'm serious. I had to help this person understand that you count up from the price, and it's just like something that everybody in my generation sort of automatically took for granted. And I don't want to see cash disappear the way it has in Sweden and places like that, because that really sucks. That's just way too much control. And do you want somebody knowing everything you're doing? I don't care. It's not like I do anything that bad, I might take the occasional puff once in a while, and I use that medicinally, of course, for my rheumatism and my arthritis and my depression. And I guess the drug companies don't like me doing that, but I'm still taking medication for high blood pressure and that. So they're getting their cut. They're getting something out of me. I hear that they're talking about bringing in pharmacare here to supplement our Medicare system. And the drug companies, of course, are fighting this like tooth and nail. We can't do that. Our executives won't be able to afford their second mansion if we do that. We can't do that. So we're fighting here in Canada to get pharmacare on top of the already universal medical coverage that we have. And that would be a wonderful thing for equaling out society a little bit more, because there are still old people here, young people that can't afford medicine. They brought in something in Ontario, and it's a partial thing, because if you're up to 25 and can't afford or are not covered by work insurance or something, you can get free prescriptions, but only up to age 25. Now, anybody who's lived past the age of 25, maybe twice and a bit, realizes that most of the expense comes at the end of your life, because you need more drugs at the end of your miserable life to keep you alive. So that really is not going far enough. But here we're working on it, and so maybe in Canada we will have pharmacare as well as our universal health care system, which private entities have been dying to take over for many years and never stop trying. So we got to be vigilant about that, But any politician that tries to screw with our healthcare system is going to find themselves out on their ass real fast, because we love it as Canadians, and we wish you guys had that down there. And don't give up the fight, because it's a fight for justice. It's a fight for human rights. You cannot have private insurance companies screwing with people's health to make money. It doesn't make any sense at all. Join the rest of the civilized world and give your people health care. So I gotta wonder why I still do this stuff. This stuff takes a lot of work, particularly like the intro tonight took me probably 3 hours to do. But it's worth it, because if it connects with other human beings and other folks that are connected by the heart and not by greed, and the whole of society is built on such a lie, and there are some who see through it, and most don't. And they continue to live in that lie, and they continue to live in that false reality that somehow getting one up on your neighbor, I saw this ad on TV the other day, and well, shop at this furniture store and you can keep up with the Joneses. I don't even know who the fuck the Joneses are, and why the hell would I want to keep up with them anyway? And remember, watch the Vegematic channel, simply because I didn't get enough attention as a child. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next show. Peace, love, harmony, all those things that are non-existent in the world. Let's make them happen.